I'm at the airport and I'm ready to fly. I'm in Adelaide and I'm about to jump on board an Emirates 777 through to Dubai. But this is no ordinary 777. Despite the fact that Emirates have got the largest fleet of 777s, over 130 of them, this one is rare as hen's teeth. There's only 8 or 10 of them. And that is, they took a small number of aircraft and reconfigured them. Instead of a 232 business class, it's a 22 business class, which means all the seats are wider. Still not as fancy as their A380 and the retrofitted 777s, which are got the 121, but a lot better than the standard 777 business class. Let's fly it together and see just how good it is compared to the normal business class that they are operating on these 777s. Let's go. Quick and easy through security, time to head to the lounge. Emirates doesn't have its own lounge here, so it's down to the Plaza Premium. It's not too bad. And just like that, it's time to board. Not a bad little lounge, this one.
Welcome on board. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you. Welcome aboard. Cheers. Here's to one sensational flight. Bubbles, really, it's the only way to start a long-haul business class flight. Things then took a bit of a turn. A broken down fuel truck delayed our departure by about 30 minutes, so I took the opportunity to film all the seat features. Anyway, while I was filming, there was a bit of drama, as the older couple sitting across the aisle from me really were not happy with their seats. She had the window seat and was going off because of this narrow gap and the fact that she'd have to climb over her husband as he slept during the night. She was all, "These are the worst seats ever, and what are you going to do about it? We're gold members." At one stage, her husband thought she might get them kicked off the flight. The crew were great and asked if I'd be happy to move to an aisle seat in row 1 so that she could sit across the aisle from her husband and not have to climb over him during the night. I was happy to move and to help out the crew. The lady became a bit happier and the crew and her husband a little bit less stressed. In this situation, there really is no point in taking it out on the crew. Cabin and seat design are not their fault. Luckily, in this instance, there was a spare seat that I could be moved to. And I suppose it's another really good reason why you should do your research and watch reviews like this so that you know what you're getting yourself into and can select your seats accordingly. So go on, hit that subscribe button. As far as I was concerned, my first impressions of these seats were pretty good. They were very comfortable to sit in and they had all the mod cons you'd expect. I do think that the minibar was a bit of a gimmick though, because it's not refrigerated. There also doesn't appear to be much storage space within easy reach. However, with one less seat across compared to the 232 business class and that dreaded middle seat gone, these seats are definitely wider. The best seats for couples? Well, if you've got mobility issues, then it's definitely those in the middle. With the fuel truck fixed and me comfortably sitting in my new seat, it was time to push back and fly to Dubai.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy your Emirates flight.
As we take to the sky, let me just tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Airalo. They offer the perfect solution to avoiding high data roaming and data charges from your telecommunications companies, because nobody likes bill shock when they get home. The Airalo app is absolutely fantastic. It's very easy to download and install, and then you can choose from eSIMs in over 200 countries. And when you're traveling to multiple countries like what I am on this tour, it's even better. I'm going to Sri Lanka, the UAE, and then I'm going to various countries in Europe. What I really like is that they've got these regional packages. So the eSIM for Europe covers 42 European countries. How good's that? Don't have to worry. Turn up to the destination, activate the eSIM, and you're done. Over 20 million travellers have used Airalo. It's the perfect solution. And use my special code, DennisB, and they'll even throw a few dollars in to get you started. Download the app today. Airalo, very easy, you won't regret it. After takeoff, a drink was served from the bar. It was definitely time for a whiskey, which came in the form of an 18-year-old Chivas Regal, served with warm roasted nuts and marinated olives. Whilst I savour this, let's show you the route for tonight's flight to Dubai. Overall flying time would be 12 hours and 35 minutes and would be entirely in the dark, flying over mainly desert and ocean. So in this leg, there really is no reason to choose a window seat, other than the fact those window seats are more private. Shortly after takeoff, orders were taken for dinner. Here's a look at the menus. Emirates doesn't offer dining on demand in business class. Instead, they have set meal times. This was a late evening departure, and Emirates understands that most passengers would want to get to sleep, so they offered an abridged meal service where you order 2 courses and they're served at the same time. This was good in theory, but it didn't really work in practice. It took a long time for meals to start coming out, and then the cabin was served from back to front, so by the time they got to me in row 1, it was a good 2 hours since our departure, and my body clock was at 1 AM. Also, this abridged meal service did take away a bit of that feeling of occasion from the meal. It all felt rather functional. I started with the Arabic messe, which was excellent and very tasty. Due to a small mix-up, I also ended up with a cheese plate, which I didn't order. It was nice though. Then I had my actual main dish, the prawns. The prawns themselves were tasty, but the rice was as plain as it looked. Dessert was a real treat though. Boysenberry cheesecake, delicious. If during the night you're still hungry and have eaten all the snacks in your minibar, then Emirates has you covered with this additional snack area in the middle of the business class cabin. There are also light bites available on the menu. With the bulk of the cabin now heading off to sleep, this is probably a good time to show you the amenities provided on this flight. Emirates have, in my opinion, the best amenities kits in the sky. They're well stocked with the stuff that you'll actually use on your travels.
It's time for the loo review, and of course time to check out the Emirates pyjamas. Now, for a long time, Emirates never did PJs in business class. They finally came to the party. I'm already wearing the top. It's got pockets and stuff here, like a little kangaroo pouch, I suppose. It is like a silky type material. I'll show you the label. We get it dry cleaned if that's what you were thinking of doing. It is, I don't even know what that material is. But anyway, let's have a look. We've got the Hollywood mirror here. Tissues, close-up mirror. Your various amenities, potions and lotions, smelly stuff, little hand towels, cloth towels, which is a nice touch. There's some more down there. The sink, the change table. We're about to put the pajama bottoms on. The toilet itself. Handles if you need to brace. Fresh orchids, very nice touch. A full-length mirror, there we go, and a hook. Pretty much a bog standard bathroom. There you go. Now let's put these pajama bottoms on. Now here we go. Here is the PJs in all their glory. It is a strange material. It's a little bit like your grandmother's camisole, but it seems quite comfortable. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, always been a big fan of airlines that provide PJs in business class. It makes for a much more comfortable sleep, keeps your clothes clean and crease-free too. There we go.
It was now definitely time to get some sleep, and this is when I discovered the biggest issue that I have with these seats. Yes, they convert into a fully flat bed, and good quality bedding is provided, including a mattress topper. However, I simply could not get comfortable. What makes these seats great to sit in, their ergonomic design, makes them uncomfortable to sleep on. The main issue is these bits that wrap around your back as you sit. As you sleep, they dig into you, and the ridge between the seat back and base sticks right up where your hips are. I did work out a hack on the way home that I forgot to film. Basically, you fold up a spare blanket into a narrow strip and use it to pad up the middle of the bed, so that these edges are not as pronounced. This solution obviously relies on there being spare seats and therefore spare blankets available. I slept for 4 very restless hours and woke up grumpy as we crossed the equator south of Sri Lanka. I then put the seat in recliner mode, drifted off for another 2 hours and eventually woke up a bit happier. Part of the reason for my grumpiness was because as I was preparing for bed, this small fitting from my mic fell down into the seat somewhere. I tried looking for it, but it was well and truly lost. Without it, the whole mic unit is pretty useless. Just after breakfast, my seatmate similarly lost a USB down the seat and asked the flight attendant for help. Sadly, she couldn't find his USB, but I'd asked her to look for my little clip, and in an absolute miracle, she managed to find it.
I'm so grateful that we were able to find it. Rose, the flight attendant who helped me out here, she pulled the seat apart. We looked in all the nooks and crannies. I thought it was lost forever. She even asked how long my transit time was so she could get engineering on board the flight after all the passengers had disembarked to see if we can pull the seat apart and find it. Then at the last minute, she found it in one of the little, it had fallen somewhere, but she's an absolute legend. Thank you, Rose. The cabin crew on this flight have been fantastic. But then all of the cabin crew that I've had on Emirates flights over the years have been really, really good. So it's one of those things that sets them apart. The seats on these 777s may be nowhere near as good as their A380 business class. However, the crew are equally as good. So in that respect, it's been a good flight.
Let's have a look at that breakfast, which was served about 2.5 hours out of Dubai. There were 3 choices for main course, and I went with the egg white omelettes, which are actually very good. In perfect timing, the turbulence hit just as I was filming, so please excuse the shaky footage. Entertainment-wise, Emirates is known as providing the best system in the sky. For this flight, there were 3 forms of entertainment for business class passengers. The first was analogue, in the form of a magazine rack. Sadly, these have disappeared on many airlines. The second option was digital, in the form of in-flight Wi-Fi. The system is free to use for Skyward members, and it worked well, but the speeds were a bit up and down. I like looking up my flight on Flight Radar 24 and seeing what this aircraft had been up to prior to this flight. Here are just some of the routes that Emirates flies this type of aircraft to. And of course, here's my usual plug for my Instagram channel if you're into that sort of thing. The third entertainment option is where Emirates really shines. It's their award-winning ICE entertainment system. This system simply has more viewing, listening, reading and playing options than any other airline. It even has live TV. With so many choices, it can seem a little unwieldy at times, but ultimately you'll find something on here that you'll like. I ended up watching a series on the Nabateans, who built various cities in the Middle East, including the incredible city of Petra in Jordan. If you haven't been to Jordan, I highly recommend it. It's an amazing place. There was time for one final espresso before the crew started to prepare for our descent into Dubai.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dubai, where the local time is 25 minutes past 5 in the morning.
Cabin crew on this flight were fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you next time. That was really nice. So that was the Emirates 777. Obviously a lot different from the 380s I've mentioned before. Bring on that 350 to Adelaide, and obviously let's hope that this refurb program and putting the A380 business class onto these 777s and premium economy happens at a fast pace, because we need to get rid of these aircraft, I think, or this seating. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and let me know whether you've flown the Emirates 777 and what your experience was like. If you haven't done so, please do consider subscribing to my channel. There's a whole lot of other reviews on there, behind the scenes videos, and a lot more on the way. Thanks again for watching, and as always, happy travels.